Men. Here's a natural man speech, like expansion in Sadia Khan's intellection. Khan's intellectual yet motivational tone. Man, when a man enters marriage, a man, he rarely does so with the conscious intention of losing himself. Men, in fact, most men walk into that commitment full of passion, dreams, man, and a sense of self. But over time, something subtle begins to happen in the pursuit of peace. Men, in the desire to keep harmony within the household. Men start making small trades that seem harmless in the beginning. May they compromise their routines, their friendships, their passions. Some make use a minute. Then even the small quirks that made them who they are. And while compromise is a natural part of any relationship, what often gets overlooked is the cost when that compromise becomes one-sided. You see, help needed, but then there's a man. Many men are conditioned to believe that their role in a marriage is to provide stability. And to keep their partner happy and to minimize conflict. So when faced with choices, they lean toward self-suppression. There's a man. They silence their voice, not because they lack opinions, but because they fear disruption. And slowly, piece by piece, the man, they give away fragments of themselves until one day they know. And they look in the mirror and no longer recognize the man staring back. What makes this trade off so dangerous is its invisibility. A man, it doesn't happen in a dramatic moment. It happens quietly. Man, canceled gym session here, an avoided disagreement there. Man, a hobby abandoned because it isn't practical. At first, these acts feel like love. They feel like sacrifice as a man. But when sacrifice is not reciprocated, when it becomes an expectation rather than choice, it turns into erosion, the erosion of identity. And here's the paradox. The very authenticity that attracted their partner in the first place is the authenticity that gets buried. Men think protecting, then there's banked in the relationship by losing themselves. But in reality, the relationship begins to suffer because one partner is no longer bringing a whole, vibrant self into it. There's a man. The lesson here is not to reject compromise. It's to recognize the line between compromise and self-erasure. There's a man. A marriage built on suppression cannot thrive. Real harmony comes not from silence, man, but from two people showing up fully as themselves and creating a rhythm, and them where individuality is respected. Man, not traded away perfect. Let's expand the second key point in the same speech. Like man, Sadia Khan inspired tone. For generations, men have been told that their worth in marriage rests on one foundation. Man is their ability to provide, and while being a provider is important, the danger lies in reducing your entire identity to just that. There's a man. When a man believes his only value is measured by the money he earns or the security he offers, man, he begins to neglect everything else that makes him a whole man and attractive and emotionally connected partner. Man. This illusion of provider only value is a trap. It convinces men that as long as the bills are paid, their job in the relationship is done. But here's the truth. There's a man. Women don't just marry wallets. They marry men. They marry energy. Men, presence, character, humor. Men, passion. The very qualities that made the relationship feel alive in the first place. When those qualities fade, because a man sees himself only as a provider, the marriage loses its spark. And yet, society keeps reinforcing this illusion. Men are applauded for their work ethic, their sacrifices, their ability to take care of the family. But no one who applauds the man who protects his who protects his emotional well-being. A man who continues pursuing his passions. Man who maintains strong friendships. Then there's a man who cultivates emotional intimacy with his partner. Men. These things are quietly dismissed. Men, even though they are the very pillars of a fulfilling marriage. What happens then? A man works harder, provides more. Man, but feels increasingly invisible. Man, he begins and he wonder why his effort isn't translating in deep appreciation or connection he thought it would. Man, and the answer is simple. Man, relationships don't run only on financial security. They run on presence, emotional availability, growth. And mutual respect. A bank account can pay the bills. But it cannot hold your partner when she feels broken. But then there's a man, it cannot inspire admiration. It cannot replace your identity. So the challenge for men is this: a man to break free from the illusion that money is enough. Yes, men need be a provider, but do not stop there. Men, be a protector of your own dreams. Men, a nurturer of your own individuality. A man, and a man who brings more than a paycheck into the relationship. Because ultimately, a woman does not stay for what you give her materially. She stays for who you continue to be. Here's the third key point, fully explained, fully expanded in that same speech. Like, man, say dia cond, inspired style. Man, the journey of marriage does not have to be one of self-erasure. Too many men believe that in order to leave, that in order to be beloved, they must shrink. But the truth is, love that demands the disappearance of love, demands the difference of who you are is not love at all. It is dependency. It is control. It is imbalance. Real love is built on freedom. And freedom allows both partners to grow without losing themselves in the process. Reclaiming yourself. After marriage does not mean walking away from your partner. Nor does it mean creating conflict for the sake of proving independence. There's a man. It means finding the balance between being committed and being complete. Because the healthiest marriages are not built by two of people clinging to half. People clinging to each other for survival. By two whole individuals who choose each other again and again from a place of strength. And for a man, this reclamation begins with boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are signals of self-respect. They communicate that while you love your partner deeply, you also value your time, your passions, and your voice. When boundaries are clear, resentment has no room to grow. That also means returning to the passions that once defined you, whether it's a sport, a craft, a skill, or even just the discipline of taking care of your body and mind. These pursuits are not selfish, they are sources of vitality. They needed a man who cultivates his own life force outside the marriage, brings more energy. More confidence and more presence into the marriage itself. And perhaps most importantly, reclaiming yourself means bringing back authenticity into the relationship. And too many men wear masks to keep peace. But masks eventually suffocate. A wife does not need a mask, she needs a a man who stands firm in his truth while still offering love. Man, when you show up as yourself, unapologetically but respectfully, man, there's a man. You give your partner permission to do the same. That's how intimacy deepens. Not through silence, man, but through honesty. Man, the goal is not to choose between self and love. It is to integrate them. To create a marriage where individuality, handy, and partnership coexist. Man, where freedom and commitment walk hand in hand, because in the end, man, the best gift you can give your partner is not just provision, man, not just sacrifice, but the fullness of who you are. Meant when a man reclaims himself without abandoning love, man, he not only saves his marriage, he saves himself.